Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Whenever you build a ride or stall, you see cute little icons of the ones that are available to you. Have you ever wondered where those icons come from? I sure have, and in earlier videos we looked at the coasters and later all the other ride type icons, so today we finished the trilogy by doing the shops and stalls. For the ride there were tons of custom designs that couldn't be found in any park that comes with the game, but the stalls can actually all be found in an existing park. Because of that, we're going to do this by park instead of alphabetically, starting with all the ones that are found in RCT1's Alton Towers. Quickly though, I first want to thank everyone who helped me find these locations, and in particular Dirklink and DCMM99 who found so many of them. At the end of the video we're also going to take a look at the statistics for all icons combined. Alright, onto Alton Towers, which features the locations of a massive 19 stalls. First is the balloon stall, which is next to one of the car rides and requires no changes at all. Next is the burger bar, which isn't actually there, but if you remove one of the fences, the surroundings do perfectly match. This will be the case for almost all stalls. The balloon stall is one of the only 5 stalls that's already built in the location that the icon was taken from. The candy floss stall can be found under the chairlift, although it does need some extra bushes to match the icon. For the chip shop we go to a nice quiet spot in the back of the park. Just like with the burger bar, the fence opposite of the stall needs to be removed. The coffee shop is very interesting. Firstly, the path in the bottom left does have railings but doesn't have stairs, which is a combination that doesn't exist in any released version. In Rollercoaster Tycoon 1 it has no stairs and no railings, while in RCT2 it has both. You can get railings without stairs in RCT1 if the path isn't on the ground, but in several upcoming icons we can see that these paths are fully on the ground, so they didn't do that. The other interesting thing is that the color of this fence is wrong here. The painted color is correct, but because of a change in the way that they did the lighting, it is much darker in RCT2, which I'm using for this, than it was in RCT1. For the donut shop we go to the castle, and for some reason this fence is changed from a Roman wall to a small fence, and I'm not sure why. I guess they thought it looked better? Either way, the brick wall in the background is a welcome change from all the trees we've had in previous icons. If you want fried chicken, you can find it very close to one of the chairlift stations, and for fruity ice you need to head to Nemesis. This is another one that's already built in the original park, although the pink tree is only there in the icon. If you need a fashionable hat, that can be fetched from a place that I had a really hard time finding again, even though I already knew it was in Alton Towers. Apparently, chips go very well with hot dogs, as the hot dog stall is located very close to the chip shop next to the horse statues. Much closer to the park entrance we can find the ice cream cone stall, which features these dog statues. When I first saw this, I thought they were custom scenery items, as I didn't recognize them, but they can be found in the pagoda theme. This is kind of a weird theming set actually. It features an odd combination of items, most of which are rarely used. The lemonade stall is quite rude, as it finds a toilet, tells it to sod off and takes its place. It's probably not a good idea to think too much about where that lemonade actually comes from. For pizza we need to go to a place where 2 different path types intersect, similar to the intersection of different tastes on the delicious Hawaiian pizza with pineapple. The chairlift we saw earlier makes another appearance, this time in the popcorn stall, as do the stairless railing paths. The seafood stall is located next to the small lake that is also found in the double-decker observation tower icon. It's amazing how many locations or rides you can spot in multiple icons if you look carefully. With the souvenir stall we encounter the third one that's already built for you, and this one is one of the rare ones that matches 100%, except for the tall grass and of course the guests. The tall grass sprites were changed between RCT1 and RCT2, and getting the guests right in these icons is pretty much impossible, so I'm not even going to try. We have 3 stalls from Alton Towers left, and the first one is the t-shirt stall. Apparently they could be bothered to change out a fence for the donut stall icon, but didn't care about the t-shirt stall icon having a withered flower bed in it. Or they just didn't notice, that's also entirely possible. The toffee apple stall is next to the castle, very near the donut shop, and the concrete toilets can be found near Oblivion. This toilet design is new in RCT2, but in the original park there is a toilet there, so I do count this as the 4th stall that's already there. Those were all the Alton Towers icons, which is nearly half of all the stalls in the game. Whereas Blackpool Pleasure Beach did very well with the number of rides, it only gets 2 stalls, and both need a lot of changing. The cash machine icon was taken near the white dodgems, and you need to change both the path and the terrain, as the original stuff isn't available in RCT2. The first aid stall needs even more changes. Different terrain, some fences added, a new lamp and a whole bunch of trees. You might say that it is a stretch that this is where it's from, but the merry-go-round with the abstract entrance, the path shape and type and a few fences do match, so I'm confident this is the correct spot. The final 2 from Rollercoaster Tycoon 1 scenarios can be found in the normal scenario Southern Sands. The info kiosk is the 5th and final stall that's already built, and it just needs some path and grass to match the icon. The drink stall is the first stall icon I ever recognized, as the coaster in the background very clearly matches this wooden coaster. We have now done all the stall icons found in Rollercoaster Tycoon 1, so it's now time to move on to Rollercoaster Tycoon 2. We start with Six Flags Magic Mountain, which has quite a few. The first one is the chip stall, at the intersection of 3 different path types. The original trees were a lot bulkier, and it makes sense that they've been replaced by slimmer ones to show off the stall better. The cookie shop can be found on top of the big hill in the middle of the park, and to get some hot chocolate we have to go down the mountain towards the tidal wave ride. This is another one where you have to build quite a lot yourself, such as the red fences and the flowers. With the path, some trees and some other fences all matching, we can be confident that this is the spot. Even though this is an RCT2 park and these fences didn't even exist in RCT1, they are still brighter in the icon than they are in the actual game, indicating that the picture for the icon was taken before the lighting was changed. The iced tea stall is very simple again, being located next to one of the monorail stations, with a few pixels of the queue line being visible in the top left. Up next is the pretzel stall, which showcases a very interesting glitch that I had never seen before. Notice that these brick walls are outside of the park, which I placed there by using sandbox mode. Easy enough, but hang on, where has the park fence gone? Out of the 4 tiles on the park edge, we only see 1 with a fence. It turns out that there's a glitch in the game that if there's a wall item in the same spot as a park fence, the fence will disappear if anything is placed on the tile on the opposite side of the fence. I have no idea why this happens, but it's interesting nonetheless. And from this more complicated one we go back to a simple one with a roast sausage stall, which is next to some yellow bit of wall. The soybean milk stall is a bit more interesting again, as you have to remove some of the queue line of the ride behind it. In the actual park the queue begins when you enter the building, but in this icon it's clearly a normal path piece. Back in Alton Towers, the lemonade stall kicked out a toilet, but here in Magic Mountain it gets comeuppance. The starfruit drink stall yeets away both the chicken stall and the very naughty lemonade stall to claim its own spot far away from any other stalls. The 9th and final stall in Six Flags Magic Mountain is the sunglasses one, which you can find next to the splash boat's tidal wave. With those all done, let's move from the mountain full of magic to a place where there is definitely no magic whatsoever: Texas. Six Flags Over Texas contains 5 stall icon locations, and the first one is the beef noodle stall, which stands next to the log flume. The chicken nugget stall is located on the way to a twist with the name Missile Chaser. As with so many previous stall icons, extra benches that weren't there before are added. Guests will sit down to consume food, and I think they wanted to reinforce that idea by including benches in as many stall icons as possible. Up next is the fried rice noodle stall, which is next to the massive hyper twister that goes by the name of Titan. The last two stalls are both on the same little plaza. On the River Rapids side we have a meatball soup stall and on the other side is the sub sandwich stall. Fun fact, this is the only stall icon to contain another stall with the toilet building that you can see in the top left. We have just a few more to go and from Texas we move to the final American park with Six Flags Great Adventure. There are just two icons here. Firstly there's the funnel cake shop which is close to the entrance and next to a house. The other one is the final stall in alphabetical order, the wonton soup stall, and it's located next to the building that houses Skull Mountain. Finally, we go to Europe, specifically to my home country of the Netherlands. The last two stalls can both be found in Six Flags Holland. The Sojourn stall can be found along Main Street with some dirt path changed into crazy paving path. And finally, the wooden toilet icon was taken next to the food court in the Mexico area. With that, we've had all 41 stalls available in the base game of Rollercoaster Tycoon 2. Let's now have a little look at some statistics of all the icons combined. In total there are 155 ride icons, 56 roller coasters, 58 other rides and 41 stalls. Mega World Park was the most popular park for rides, but it actually has 0 stall locations for some reason. Alton Towers was already doing quite well behind Mega World and Blackpool, but with nearly half of all the stall icons it soared past even the fully custom category into the lead with 31 icons in total. This means that you can find exactly 20% of all ride and stall icons in Alton Towers. Interestingly, no icons are found in RCT1's Heide Park, even though the other two real parks that come with that game got quite a lot. A total of 15 different scenarios were used, which feature 104 of the 155 icons. The other 51 were taken from a pre-built design or from a park that was never released to the public. And that concludes the trilogy of videos where I explore where every ride icon in the Rollercoaster Tycoon 2 base game comes from. To see the episode about non-coaster ride types, click right here. Thank you very much for watching and I will see you in the next video.